Hey campers, back in the man cave in the South 40. Got some projects that have, well, been a little difficult. Taking forever, been doing them forever, and not really getting anywhere. And today, we gotta get somewhere. So my issues are kicking in. I've had these two projects for about 2 years and the other about 2 months. Both I've had problems with. Just can't seem to figure out what to do. One is this guy, which is a fixed blade knife project I started. See the problems I'm having? I've tried 4 times to put this handle together. Neither one has worked. We got to figure out a plan this time. The other one is this one here, which is a walking stick that I've been working on for 2 years. It started off as a full-grown walnut tree cut down by Lee, and we split it all up, cut it down, broke it down, and I brought some pieces back. And I've been using them over that time. This was the first project I started with that. This walnut is really hard and tough to work on. So these are the 2 projects I gotta finish. Both of them have huge potential. Which one to do today? So, dice day. We figure the knife, even, the stick, odds. Let's go. Even. Looks like it's the knife. That's the way to throw dice. Looks like it's the knife, and this will have to stay here just in case, because when I put this together, we're going to have to wait. While we wait, maybe we'll do some work on the stick or something. The knife is actually a blank that I got a while ago. I just saw it there and I really thought that would make a nice fixed blade camp knife. Kind of sort of like a scout camp knife, that sort of style. You know, with the leather in the handle. I'm not going to do all leather, but have that in it. And then the sheath be the good old-fashioned full sheath with the little snap that goes over the handle to turn it in. You know, very traditional. I got a piece of wood, added in some plastic strips and some, I don't know if you can see that, that's actually 2 pieces of leather from my scrap leather. Glued it 4 times, and 4 times it came apart. So that's where I am now. So I think the plan today is we're going to put pins in here. So that's what we're going to do now. Get the pins in, get the handle glued together, and hopefully we can get it to set, it'll hold, and then I can go to work and shape the handle. We have a plan, we have a direction thanks to the dice. Let's have at it. So I have a brass pin that fits in there, and fortunately it's going to match bolster on the Frencher, which came with the blank. While I was cleaning these off and smoothing them out, I really had a problem getting the wood really smooth to put it onto the blade. And I'm thinking if I put liners in between the wood and the blade, it'll look a lot cleaner, he says, dropping the other one. Like that, and fill in all the holes and everything. So now we wait. But while we're waiting, I was thinking about what I'm going to do with this guy. Now, besides a lot of carving and cleaning up I have to do, I did do a little pattern thing on it. The handle I know is at the right height for me. I need to put something on here. That's what I've been thinking about. And I was staring at the wall, and there it was. Maybe we can do this. Think Jurassic Park. Do you see it? That thingy right there could be my savior for my walking stick. So basically what it was last summer, got a bunch of wasps. So I got some of that wasp spray, sprayed it on me, they all went away. But that guy stayed because apparently he was stuck to the nest. I just left it there. And now I'm thinking, that was a good idea. Maybe, like I said, we can make a handle to go on top of the walking stick. Gonna have to get some stuff for that. Gonna have one shot at this thing, and if it doesn't work, oh well. But we'll give it a go. And if you're wondering how I lit it up like that, this guy got me a new flashlight with a bunch of options on it. Video coming. It is very cool. I really like this light, and the options, awesome. Okay, you can see I got him off. He's barely on there. I think he's about to fall off. I'm going to have to fix him on there somehow. So what I did was I got some Elmer's Clear Dry and just put 2 little spots on his feet, which will keep him attached to the nest, I hope. Okay, we have epoxy resin, crystal clear, resists yellow, self-leveling, easy mix. That's a good thing. Now I got to read up on actually how to do it. And I have some resin molds here. We got to find the right one and make sure it'll fit in. Okay, got to tell you, I'm a little nervous at this. We've got one shot at it, and that's it. I got this resin kit, and it comes with these things, which are molds for resin. What we have to do is find one that is actually going to match that guy and not be too big for walking stick. And they come in many different sizes, from the teeny weeny to this giant guy. And then I got to get it inside. Now, the cool thing about these is they're rubber. And to get something in there, you can stretch that opening and get it in. I'm hoping we can fit one, and I like this guy. It's a good size for the hand, and it may just be big enough. Really nervous about messing this guy up. And what I'm thinking, let me come closer. So here you can see him there. And yep, Mary just pitched up. So I have to be really careful. And now I've got to hide from her. I'm doing the projects you're telling me to do. So apparently she's decided this is the place she wants to be and do whatever she wants. So now I'm stuck. So there you can see it there. And I'm hoping this is going to work. Okay, so this is the resin kit, and this is from Chris Reel, these guys. And it's an epoxy resin instructions here. Crystal clear, resist yellow, self-leveling, easy mix, 1-to-1 ratio. They give you 2 beakers here, plastic beakers with measurements on them so that you can mix equally between them, and then obviously mix them, stir them up, and put it in whatever you're going to be using. So what I have to do is I have to dip this guy in there so it has a full coating on it and hopefully not have any bubbles. But I've got to let this sit for a little bit while the bubbles come up. Apparently they disperse. Well, now we sit and wait. I gotta tell you, I don't have a good feeling. Those bubbles are not going away. Oh well, what do you do? We'll have to wait and see. So, while everything's drying and whatnot, might as well work on the walking stick, right? Got a lot of shaping to do. And by the way, I looked at the resin. The bubbles seem to be clearing up. They say it takes 72 hours. Let's have it at this walking stick. What I got to do now is start getting a decent shape out of it and then decide what I want to do as far as carving and that sort of stuff on it. So what I've been doing is I've been working on 2 videos. If you remember, I threw the dice and the dice said the knife. Because I have to glue things and you have to sit and wait for hours, the longer you wait, the more chance it's not going to come apart. It's really going to set properly. So I've been trying to do that. Well, while I was waiting, I worked on this guy. And as you can see, I have reduced it significantly. I'm kind of liking the way it's coming out. I've decided to keep it as simple as possible. One of the reasons is, as you saw, I was working on that handle for the top with the wasp inside the globe. That's looking like it may work. There's a lot of bubbles, and I don't know how to get around the bubbles. The bubbles aren't in the middle. They're all around the edge. You can see everything in there. Just got to look carefully, and I'll show you that. I'm still letting it sit. They said 72 hours, so I've got another overnight to do. I filed all this down, and we finally got most of the roughing done. This is where the handle will be. The globe will sit on top here. This will be rounded off. I'm going to leave the handle fairly obvious, more squarish, not as round as everything and not as thin as everything else. This will be thinned out, and I've got to see how the globe fits on here, how I want to shape this. I may have to make it thin and have it come out wide. So there we are there. Going to take a lot of cleanup. This here, if you're wondering what this is going to be, I'm actually going to make just some round reduction things on it, just going around. Just wanted to break up the straight stick. I like this wood. This is very nice wood. When I started with it, and I'll show you what the piece looked like when I started with it, I wanted to get the different colors. And here you can see, it's hard to see now, but this is slightly darker than this side. And I wanted to get that split between dark and white. That was the plan. Almost got it there. But we'll see. I think linseed oil will bring it out really nicely. I'm thinking of putting linseed oil on, and then I might just spray it with an acrylic spray. You can see the rasp I was using really cut deep grooves in it. And to be honest, I kind of like that look. It looks very traditional, rough. And I'm wondering if I should leave it or should I smooth it out. You can see there what it looks like. I'm probably going to smooth it out because I'm going to have to actually physically carve these with some whittling knives. Get those nice rounded and carve out here a little bit and see what's going to happen here. But there we are there, and of course this, the handle is here and the globe will be on top. You can see there. I'm kind of pleased the way this turned out. It turned out better than I thought it would. It's taken me 2 years to get there. Originally started off with an axe and a hatchet and a couple of saws and whittled it down. Let me get the piece that is similar to what it was. This piece here, and you can see here, it really shows the light and dark on it, is actually the piece I cut off the top. This whole thing was the length of this plus this, and I had to cut it to length. So it shows you how much wood I took off of it. It really is nice wood. It is walnut, and I love this wood. It's really nice. I love that dark to light. So hopefully the globe will work. I'll figure out a way to get it on here and maybe shape this to come up to the globe. Finish the handle off. I'm thinking of putting leather on the handle. I will give it some support around here, probably with just like a copper ring on the bottom here to stop the wood from splitting at the bottom. Just give it some strength. Clean it up, and hopefully we'll have a pretty cool walking stick. Huh, the bubbles didn't go away. Interesting is that there's none on the bottom. But I don't know if you can see, but there he is there. There, if you catch it in the right light, you can actually see him pretty well right there, sitting on the nest. You get one chance at this, and sometimes look how clear that is down there. Oh, the boss is inspecting. So, you get that one chance, and that's it. From the top, it looks great. Unfortunately, where he is positioned, you can't see him from there, although you get a good look there. You see him in there. We know it'll work. I'll have to search for another bug. It'll sit right on there, just like that. So that'll be the top. So I'm going to have to find a way to hold whatever I want in the middle. I'll have to really plan hard and figure out how I'm going to hold it in the middle. But an interesting project. Learned something here. Now I know what I'm dealing with. So it's a nice evening, so I thought instead of going inside, Mary and I would just sit out here and do some whittling. Want to start getting these rings done on the walking stick, and Mary will sit behind me and monitor and make sure I'm being safe. What I'm going to use is my Mora 106 whittling knife. This is a nice heavy duty knife, and this wood is pretty hard, so nice knife to do the heavy work with. So remember, you want to work away from any part of your body. So I'm going to start just trimming these down along the edges here and start rounding these off. Just take a bit off at a time. Love these Moras. Sharp and tough. This is the carbon, by the way. It says on the blade there, carbon. I just prefer a carbon blade because I find it easier to sharpen. So you can see it's starting to round off as I go. You can see just here where I did those quick trimmings, it's already starting to round off there. So I'm going to do the same thing this side and then that side, and these will eventually become round and look like rings going around. Mary and I spend a lot of evenings like this where she ignores me and fiddles around in her little kiddie cave. So here you can see how I've rounded off, well, not truly rounded off, but started to round them off just by taking small little angled cuts out, and it starts to round it off. And then once I have gone as far as I can on this, I'll clean it up with sandpaper. I don't want it to be square. I want them to actually be a little bit more round, so it looks like a band going around. Here you can see I've started to smooth everything off, and here's what it looks like when you do it with a knife. Now you can get it even rounder by continuously making small little cuts out and getting it out. I just prefer to do it with some 80 grit sandpaper, and it goes through this pretty quickly and it rounds it off really nice. So just got to keep working at it. So Mary and I were sitting outside again this evening. It's the next day. And I've just sanded everything. You can see how I've rounded off those things just by using that the 80 grit. Now I decided to sand it to get rid of most of the scrapings, but I still like the way it looks, that rough look to it. I think that's as much as I want to sand it. You can still see some of the marks on it. And here you can see I cleaned this up. This little knot thing, whatever you want to call it. This is where the handle will go. Now all I have to do is decide how I'm going to mount the globe on top here. So there you go. One thing I did do was put this on. I've still got to fill the gaps in it. There's some slight gaps, and I'll just do the same thing with some magic dust. Basically it was a copper coupling that I had, has a bit of thread on it, screwed it on there so it's on here tight. It doesn't need to be glued, but I want to fill in that. Day 5, the light at the end of the tunnel. Now all I have to do is shape the wood coming up to the globe at the top. I've put the globe on. The way I landed up doing it was I got a heavy threaded screw, cut the top off, drilled into the wood, screwed it into the wood, glued it in there, and then drilled into the globe a little bit and did the same thing on that side using a clear glue. And now I've got to shape it up towards it. So far so good. But first, some coffee. 2 CG mugs. If you would like one for a small fee, let me know in the comments, or contact me on Facebook, Instagram, send me a message and with your address and whatnot, and I'll send one to you. I've cut it so that it is going to be a little bit short, so that I have to pull it tight. So I think I'm going to do a baseball stitch. The right way to do this is you choose which side you're always going to go over the top of the other stitch. I chose this side to go over the top. So this one goes through and under like that. And this one goes over the top of this stitch. and you can see there, and then you pull it tight. Now this one that was over the top is going to be under. And this one now is over the top. Like that. Just give them a little tug. Didn't quite get it tight enough there, but this will be fine. And he goes over the top. And so it goes. Here I'm doing the last stitch. I'm going to pull it tight. Now you'll notice I'm at the end here, but you have this big gap here, this piece. I want to hold that in a little better. So what I'm going to do is go back over it into this guy. Now you pull this so that I'm not going to stab into this piece, that side of the thread. Do the same on this side, and you can see how the leather, I'm just going to try and fix that. The leather doesn't line up, and it's probably because this is not even. So I'm going to take this guy and do the same thing again, and I'm going to come on from this side and try and miss. There we go. And now it just pulls that leather a little bit better. The problem I'm having is they don't line up exactly. Is it a big problem? Not really. This thread will hold it, but because I'm paranoid, I'm just going to go over it and back in. Hold it a little bit better. And then I've got to end these off. So I'm going to do the same thing here that I did. Snip these off and burn them off. And they wax and thread, so it holds it all together. And there you are. So just sitting outside having a cup of coffee with the caged lion back there. Finally finished this guy. So what I'll do is I'll just show you what it looks like, and then I'll give you a closer look at it. And let me know what you think. So here we are. It's all done. And you can see copper. Save the wood at the bottom, stop it from splitting. And if you look at the wood, I did not clean up the rasp marks on it all over. I just thought it gave a better look to it. Of course, I've put linseed oil on. It's really brought out the color. These here were just to break up the straight stick. I just thought I'd put something in there, so I carved those in. And here you can see I put a lanyard on it. You can adjust it to whatever hand, and of course the knot. And here you can see I put a leather handle on it. I thought I'd try that and see how it goes. I don't know if it's going to work because leather stretches, so we'll see. And I did the baseball stitch. And then something I didn't show you on the video was when I was cleaning this up, decided to carve a little bit more. I have a problem. When I'm around a stick and I have a knife, I need to carve it. So I just made some squigglies. And here is the hornet. Unfortunately, like I said, the bubbles are all along the edge here. And unfortunately, you can see him. You can see him right there on his nest. And if you look from the top, it's nice and clear. Try and get that focused for you. Getting it to stay in the middle was a problem. It kept rising to the top. I had to push it down, and I think that may have caused some of the bubbles. But I'm not sure, and it's a fun project. So there you have it. The Wasp. I think that's what it's going to be called, because I believe that is a wasp. Part of the hornet family, by the way. So there you are. Fun project. So there it is. All done. Only took 2 years. Started off as a bushcraft project that I found was just not working. Like I said, I started with just using an axe and a hatchet and a folding saw. I used that to break it down from that big piece. Decided to try something else. Had some ideas, so things just come to me while I'm doing it, so my mind changes on what I'm doing. I don't know what to tell you. I'm all over the place, which is the reason I needed the dice. The knife, well, the knife is a challenge. Still working on that. The handle, I'm really struggling with, so hopefully I'll get it to work. You'll get to see the video. Full disclosure on that one. That was a challenge. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. Pretty sure we'll be back. You know, she's always pitching up in the videos. Got some things to work on, and we'll have some videos for you, a couple of knives, some other stuff. I got sent a coffee machine. The weather has changed. I think I'm going to go fly fishing, and I'll take my coffee machine with me and have a cup of coffee while we're out trudging for fish. Just saying. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Take care. See you again soon.